Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
This is probably one of the more famous people that I get to talk to, even though he's not really Elvis Presley. One would think he is, the way that he acts and the way that he looks. And I just have to share with everyone. We always talk with Chris MacDonald because he does this Memories of Elvis in concert, and he laughs when I tell him, I think you're better than Elvis. And he says, no, I'm not. But he is.
I appreciate that.
I know that, but I know you don't want me to say that.
There's only one Elvis.
I know. That's only one Elvis, but he certainly was, he was the guy. And so, and I don't know if we talked about this before, but I saw the new movie called Green Book. Did you hear about that?
I heard about that, yes. It looks like a great movie.
Well, it is, and it shows about how many of the performers, when they were in the South and they were African American, they could go and perform, but they weren't accepted into the hotels or into even the men's rooms or ladies' rooms. I mean, it was terrible. And Elvis, see, he got by all that. He sounded like them, but he didn't look like them.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. They originally, when they put him on the radio, Sam Phillips recognized this. Elvis, because of where he grew up in that Mississippi Delta area, he had the sound and the style of a lot of the black artists, the rhythm and blues artists at the time, and that's how he grew up. He grew up in the same area. His family, they weren't wealthy. They were working class people, and they basically Elvis listened to all kinds of music, and a lot of it was the gospel music, the country music, and then rhythm and blues, and it all fused together, and that's how rock and roll started. But he had that the image that as soon as they put it on the radio, as soon as people heard him, and then they finally saw him, it was something so different, because originally they thought he was a black artist. When they heard that music, that's what they thought.
How did the black singers feel about him when he came into their clubs? Probably the only white guy.
That's the whole thing. Music, the thing about music, and it creates universal feeling. I mean, people, it doesn't matter what color you are, what race you are, what creed, music brings people together. And if they understand that everyone understands, if you appreciate music, it doesn't matter your color or skin.
Yeah, so it wasn't dangerous for him, and
no.
And that's how he learned, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he experienced the music listening to the radio, of course, and then in that area there was a lot of blues music on the radio, and there was country music, and then, of course, the gospel churches, the black gospel churches in the area that he enjoyed the music from, and that was all a part of that fusion, because if you listen to rhythm and blues and soul and rock and roll, that's what's in it. It's gospel music mixed with rhythm and blues, country. It's a fusion of all kinds of music, but there is a root in there of that sound.
Mm-hmm. Well, so Chris, you certainly, this is your life, and that's really true. I don't know, maybe when you're 80, you'll still be doing this. I don't know, but...
Hey, who knows? I just know that the music itself, the music lives forever.
Yeah.
So if people enjoy the music,
right?
And as an artist, you want to just play the music, and have people have a good time, and that's what you hope for. I mean, Frank Sinatra music is legendary, and I think it'll go on forever. And there's certain individuals that have left their mark, and as long as people want to hear that music,
right. And I was also thinking about, I think I said this once before. I went on a cruise, and they had a whole time where they had a lot of Elvises. That was a big Elvis thing, and there must have been 10 of them. And they had these toupees on and different things, and they were not. Some were slim and they didn't have a voice. There were a couple who were very overweight, and they sounded good. And there's just something about everybody wants to think that they're Elvis.
Yeah, well, I think they're all doing. They love Elvis, and they're all trying to do what they can do. It's a lot of times there's a different. They're impersonators, and then there's tribute, and I call mine more of a tribute, and it's trying to be done as a natural presentation, natural vocals, without sounding like over the top. You know, I don't want to sound like I'm doing a caricature. I want to sound naturally close, and the resemblance, I want to be naturally close without going over the top like you're saying. I don't want to be a caricature. And I think sometimes that's what people expect when they hear about an Elvis show. They're expecting a caricature, and that's not what I do. You know, I do a tribute, natural, you know, resemblance, natural, without going over the top. But I still want people to understand me as an entertainer, and I talk about what Elvis did. I never say I'm Elvis during the show. That's not the way it's done. I want to remind you of him. That's why I call it Memories of Elvis, and it's my take on his music, and that's what makes it very personal for me.
And the other thing that I don't think we ever stress this, and we should. Yes, you're singing, but you do have a lot of video in the background. And why don't you talk about what some of that video looks like and how you started and what it does?
Yeah, in between some of the costume changes, we actually run clips of Elvis's footage, you know, from the early days. If we're running in between, I may also run a clip of Ed Sullivan introing Elvis, you know, where it's a moment in history that everybody recognizes. And I also run clips that actually bring you into the different eras of his career. It'll show scenes from some of the movies that talk about the movies to set up that particular version of part of the show we do, because we actually break it up into different eras of his career. I do the 50s and the early years, and then we do a little change into the movie look to do some of those songs like Viva Las Vegas and Can't Help Falling in Love and Return to Sender. And then I run some clips that lead you into the Black Leather 1968 comeback. That was a TV special Elvis did after doing all the movies when he wasn't sure. You know, he hadn't performed live in quite some time, so he wasn't sure what people were going to say or think. And he put the black leather on, and he did the show, and he knocked him out.
Right.
So that was that comeback special. So we do that show, part of the show. We take a little break, and then I come back in the white fringe outfit, which was Elvis in the 1970s. And we do the white fringe in early 1969 and 70 when he first hit Vegas at the International Hotel, that white fringe outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And we do all those concert year songs from Burnin' Love, Suspicious Minds, My Way, and, of course, some cover songs he did like Sweet Caroline. And it's a lot of fun. It's just a whole story of what he's done in his career, and then with clips bringing everything together, so you actually get a little bit of the history, of course, while being entertained, hopefully, with all the great music.
What did he do when he went in the service? What were his responsibilities? Was he an entertainer?
No, just a regular. He did his regular time, and that's what he wanted to make sure everybody knew. He pulled guard duty. He did the standard stuff that everybody does that are assigned in the military. He didn't want to be treated, any more special than anybody else, and he was just a good guy, and that's what he was looking for. And he didn't perform except for maybe little get-togethers. While he was off duty or something, he'd play the piano or do something at one of the homes. But he really wasn't out there to be like a USO type show. He was an actual in the Army. That's what he was doing.
How long was he in the Army?
It was just a couple years, as standard.
Couple of years. Oh my goodness! When you think about that was so unselfish of him to do that. I mean, he not only lost revenue because they didn't pay him much at the service, but, he took a chance of people not remembering him.
Well, that was what was so smart about the Colonel. He actually had Elvis put a lot of stuff in the can, a lot of recordings, so they were able to release some songs while he was away. He also was able to get some movies set up to go. So he tried to have some kind of a presence when it came to the films and the recordings, which was smart. Kept him in the public eye. Of course, he wasn't performing live, so he didn't have any of the live performances. But he was able to get back into that, and eventually, when he got back from the Army, they did the big special with Frank Sinatra at the Fontainebleau Hotel.
Oh, that's what happened when he came back.
Yeah, when he did the Welcome Home Elvis special there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So that was a welcome home. Well, with Frank Sinatra, no less.
Yeah, it was great. They had everybody there. And, it was just if you ever get a chance to look at some of the footage, it was a pretty cool little special. It was fun.
And will I see that on YouTube to get to the footage?
Sure, you'll see the footage.
It's on your show, on your website?
No, it's not on the website. You have to just search,
Okay.
Welcome Home Elvis.
Welcome Home Elvis. I'm writing that down.
Yeah, on Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got that.
At the Fountain Blue. It was 1960.
Wow. Super. Okay, so let me just tell you, I'm talking with Chris MacDonald, who does this Memories of Elvis in concert. And what we want to do is tell you how you can see this. I mean, I can't urge you enough to go. Let's talk first. Well, January the 6th is coming up, and that's Sunday, this coming Sunday. January the 6th, it's at 1:30 and 6:30. So take your pick. It's at the Marshall Rinker Playhouse, which is at the Kravis Center. And if you want to get tickets, there are a couple of ways you can do it. You can either call 561-832-7469, or you can go to kravis.org, kravis.org. So I hope you've written this down. If everything else fails, just go to kraviscenter.org and you'll be able to see it. Now, that's January the 6th, so it's coming up. The next one, though, are the people who are living in Broward County and, Miami-Dade. This is maybe even closer for you. Saturday, January the 12th. So it's the following Saturday. And this is at 7:30. And if you want to get tickets, now this is at the Carl Springs Center for the Arts. It's a beautiful place and plenty of parking, and you should definitely consider it. And let me give you a way to get tickets there. That's 5990. Or you can go to the Center CS, stands for Carl Springs, the centercs.com. So I don't know how to urge you more. I mean, if you're not an Elvis fan, don't go. But I don't know who isn't an Elvis fan. And as a matter of fact, there are people who aren't Elvis fans. Maybe they've never seen him. You ought to go anyway.
Well, see, that's a good point. See, right. The way we do the show, and I think that's the best way to say it. The show is done as an entertainment presentation and with entertainment value on its own. You don't have to be an Elvis fan. You don't have to be an Elvis fan, because I guarantee you that you're going to enjoy the live music. We've got an 8-piece band with a horn section. We have 2 girl dancers, and we do songs that even if you think you're not an Elvis fan, you know these songs.
Right.
And some of these songs you didn't even know Elvis did. We're able to cover some of the songs that he covered because he loved all kinds of music. So, you're able to hear songs like My Way, Sweet Caroline, some of those cover songs, Johnny Be Good, which was a Chuck Berry song, a rock and roll song. You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, which was done by Dusty Springfield. Elvis recorded that. Proud Mary, which was done by Creedence and Tina Turner. We do a version of that. So there's all kinds of songs that are in there, plus all the great songs that he did do that you realize that, I love that song, like Can't Help Falling in Love.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't love Can't Help Falling in Love? Or who doesn't love It's Now or Never?
Yep.
Those kind of songs. And then you've got All Shook Up and Heartbreak Hotel, Blue Suede Shoes. These are some Hard-Headed Woman, which I'm sure some of you out there might know a few of those.
Mm-hmm.
That was a joke. Anyway,
I know that was.
It's just as an entertainment value. Even if you think you don't like Elvis, which to me wouldn't make any sense in the world anyway, but even if you think you don't, you're still going to have a good time with the show. It's live music. This is a live presentation, with a big band and dancers. And if you like fun, if you enjoy having a good time, then you're going to like our show.
Right. Yeah, you are. It's beautiful. Let's talk about the blue suede shoes. I don't remember, but when you sing that, you don't have blue suede shoes on, do you?
I do sometimes, but yeah, I do have blue suede shoes, and I have worn a blue jacket with blue suede shoes.
Oh, have you?
Yes, I have. But,
blue suede shoes.
But there's often sometimes I have the two-tone, the black and white shoes, the two-tone black and whites, which are definitely a signature that he wore also in the 50s.
Right.
And then so I do that too. But we do blue suede, and that, of course, originally that was Carl Perkins' song. But Elvis waited and told Carl, well, I'll wait till it goes to number one for you, and then I'll record it. And he did it number one for him, too.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the other question that I have about this is how many, for you, how many sets of clothes do you have? Because, those clothes are very important to you, and what happens if something gets spilled on or it doesn't?
I have duplicates. I have a lot of duplicates of the outfits, and I have, different beads and stuff. The white fringe outfits have the white fringe with beads, silver or red or turquoise or, so I have different outfits set up that way. And then the black leather, I have a few of those because those are tight and you never know what can happen.
Right.
Those have tendency to split. You feel air conditioning all of a sudden when you expect it.
Right. And tell me a little bit about your wife. We usually don't talk about this, but does she fall in love with you every time you sing again? I'm sure she does.
Well, you know how that works.
Is that what she says?
Falls in love, and then you get aggravated, and you're out of it, and then you're back in it. You know how a marriage is. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But it does help.
Yeah.
If you're able to sing a little bit to them, it
I
does
would
help.
say so. So she. So when you found her, were you singing like this? Is this part of the deal?
Well, yes, it was, and I hopefully it wasn't the only part of it, but no, it wasn't. It's definitely, even before I was doing this as an entertainer, I always liked to sing. So I think that's just a part of me, and what I enjoy. So it's not so much just the show, but I love to sing, anything, basically.
Right. How do your kids feel about this?
Well, it's part of what they know, and it's pretty cool.
Right, and of course they didn't know Elvis, and
no.
Of course your wife knew about Elvis, but that's a whole new thing for them. That's
that's what's nice about the show. It actually works for people of all ages, and some of the kids, little kids even, really love the music, and you'd be surprised. The music itself now is being shown in a lot of Disney movies.
Really?
Used in quite a few Disney movies. There was even cartoons and stuff, Lilo and Stitch, which was a Disney story that had an Elvis theme in it, and that was out a while back. But there's also all kinds of commercials still, that run Elvis music in the commercials, from Jose Cuervo to, not that the kids would know about that, but the adults know about those kind of things.
Right.
So he's still in the media when it comes to his music. There was a film on Netflix.
Oh. Really
cute film that was about Santa Claus. It was called Chronicles, something like that.
Yeah, right.
Christmas Chronicles.
Right.
And Kurt Russell starred in it as Santa Claus.
Right.
Which there's a connection with that, too, because Kurt Russell played Elvis in the original Elvis movie that was right after he died, that was on television, produced by Dick Clark. Kurt Russell played Elvis in that movie, which was really a good movie if you ever get a chance to see it.
I will, definitely.
But he was in this movie, and they, of course, played Here Comes Santa Claus. Elvis's version of Here Comes Santa Claus was played in the movie. And then Kurt Russell does his version of Elvis's song called Santa Claus is Back in Town. So, and this is just recently on Netflix, a movie that came out this year.
Wow. They should have you in the movie. Did you tell them that?
That would have been fun.
That would have been good. You got to get up there. Somebody better discover you to do that. But let me tell you, my guest is Chris MacDonald, and we're talking about the wonderful shows that he's promoting here. Once you go, you're just going to love it. Take your family. It's a great thing, and you can make New Year's extended a little bit. So here it is, Sunday, January the 6th at 1:30 and also at 6:30 at the Marshall Rinker Playhouse at the Kravis Center. If you want tickets, you can call 561-832-7469, or you can go to kravis.org. Now, you can keep going, and Chris will also be at the Carl Springs Center for the Arts on Saturday, January the 12th at 7:30. Now, you have to get tickets. So tickets, you have to call this number for tickets. It's 954-344-5890. or you can go to the website, which is thecentercs.com. And if you want more information about Chris and what he does, you can go to his website, which is chriselvis.com. chriselvis.com. I'll bet there are a lot of websites that have Elvis in them, but not yours, because you're Chris Elvis.
Yes, that's why when it comes to our show, that's why I do put my name in the front of it, because it is my tribute to Elvis, and I make it personal. So it's Chris MacDonald's Memories of Elvis, and this tour that we're doing here, these two venues you mentioned, and that Coral Springs number. I was listening. I want to make sure the Coral Springs number was correct. It's 954-344-5990. I think that's just to make sure that was the right number.
Yeah, I think I said that, but let's make sure though.
Yeah, just to make sure.
That was 5990. Yeah, I thought that's it, but who knows? I mean,
but this particular show is actually the Memories of Elvis Rockin' Birthday Bash Tour. The month of January is actually Elvis's birth month. He was born January 8th.
Oh.
So this particular tour we do in January, all these shows are Chris MacDonald's Memories of Elvis Rockin' Birthday Bash.
I see.
And that's what this is about. And we're also doing, after these shows, we go up in Fort Pierce at the Sunrise Theater. We go to across the coast over to Barbara B. Mann in Fort Myers. And then we're also actually leaving the sunny Florida, going to North Dakota.
Why would you do
January for a casino in North Dakota.
Really?
That books us every year. So, we'll be in the frozen tundra pretty soon. But,
I can't even think about that. It's going to be so cold.
But not this coming weekend. In the weekend, Kravis Center, we're good. We're in sunny, beautiful Florida, and then we'll be in beautiful, sunny Florida again. January 12th, Coral Springs Center for the Arts. And that venue has perfect, it's free parking. It's right there. You park, you go inside. Every seat has a great view of the stage. And it's an intimate venue, and it's one of the places that is like a hidden gem in Coral Springs.
Yeah.
And, you can get to it easily, too, if you want to get it off of the Sawgrass. You jump off there, and it's easy access.
Well, how would you do that? Let's just take this. So you take the Sawgrass, and you get off at where? Where? At,
you can get off at Sample Road and take it to Coral Springs Drive.
Mm-hmm.
You can get off at Atlantic, and it depends on where you're coming from. Get off at Atlantic Boulevard, and then just again look for Coral Springs Drive, which is Pine Island Road basically, and it's right off of Coral Springs Drive.
Okay.
Pine Island Road. Good.
Well, that's a good thing to do. So the other thing that we probably don't talk enough about, but I was really impressed with the singers that you have. I know you have an 8-piece band, but you also have dancers and singers. They're really cute.
Yes. What that brings into the background singers, of course, are always there for the harmony, and that's important because Elvis had the Jordanaires, so we always need harmony vocals in those songs. Those Jordanaires were his original backup group, which we were fortunate enough to do shows with, and then Elvis's drummer DJ Fontana, who sadly just recently passed away. DJ Fontana, Elvis's original drummer. But we also have 2 girl dancers, and these girls kind of bring in that whole movie feel, the Elvis movies, where the girls wearing bikinis and they're not wearing bikinis
right.
in the show, but they're wearing like the showgirl outfit.
Right.
They wear the sequin mini dresses and the go-go boots, and it kind of brings in that whole Elvis movie feel, and that's why we bring the girls in. So nothing wrong with having some showgirls, right?
No. Well, that's good. And then in the time you have left, why don't you talk a little bit about his home? Elvis's.
Graceland was
why don't you talk about that?
Graceland was his refuge. He built it for his mother, and he built it for a place to go that he loved. And he grew up in Memphis, and it was always his goal to have a house like that. And when you go there, and you walk through those doors, and you visit the grounds, you will feel like you're back in time because it's been preserved, and it's something that if you're a historian of music, if you're a fan of music, if you're a fan of pop culture, if you're a fan of the United States of America, you should go see Graceland. It's a place that is on the registry for historic places, and it is definitely one of the most visited homes in the world.
You know, they have places where I forget what you call that, where they have famous people and they have them, a wax museum. Is he in a wax museum?
Oh, he's in a bunch, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you look all over it, you'll find him someplace. And this is not only as an entertainer, but
he's an icon.
He was an icon. He was the first American Idol, rock and roll American Idol. I really believe that.
Yeah, I feel that way, but I do love his music, and actually I'm not a country western person. I mean, there are some people and some things I like, but boy, I loved his music, and I love to see you perform it, and as I just keep repeating this, but I did see him. I'm one of the few people I know who really saw him, and I was young, I was probably 17, 18, 19, something, but I certainly, I got the fever. I mean, you couldn't be in that crowd without feeling the fever.
Well, we do that song too. So.
Right. Right. Well, Chris, it's always wonderful talking to you, and I wish you so much success, and I know that you're going to do it. And so, thank you again. I'm so love talking to you, and good luck with everything.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Same to you. All right. Bye.
Bye.